just awesome. That's what you'll probably think when you first pop in Ninja Gaiden for the NES. It was one of the first games to use cutscenes, and for the first game to use cutscenes, it was done very well for its time. The cutscenes have nice animation, good graphics, and do very well at telling the story, which involves, like, you have to get some sort of sword from somewhere. I don't really know. I mean, I just kind of skip through the cutscenes anyway, but they look cool, and the animation is really well done throughout. But some of the lines are just very, very cool. Like, who was that woman? Just a girl. Get out of here. These are quotes that come back and come back. They're all a video game lore. If you look it up on Google or something, you'll find these lines. These are very famous lines. But these cutscenes are all very, very well done. You have to go find some guy named White. Maybe Walter White or something. But let's go play Act 1. So the game as a whole, you might think at first, oh, it looks pretty simple. All you have to do is run right and just kill the guys in front of you. And that's pretty much what it is, but it's actually way more complicated than that. You can jump on walls, you can get items from, like, these little lantern things because there's totally ninja stars that are trapped in lanterns. Try that at home, kids. See what happens, but see, really it doesn't look that hard, and it was very simply programmed, it looks like, because everything dies in one hit, and that's not that bad, but you can get power-ups, you can get ninja stars, you can get your little fire shield thing, which is pretty cool, because it makes you invincible, but really, it's not that hard, the first few levels anyway, but this game has a reputation of being notoriously difficult, especially towards some of the last levels. That's where it just gets unfair. But here we are at the first boss, and really the first boss isn't anything bad. I mean, if you look at him, his sword will go right through you. I mean, for a game that is notoriously difficult, you would have thought that the bosses might actually be able to use their weapons, but no, it just passes right through you like you're some kind of ghost. A few slashes and he's dead. Not bad at all, right? Now, here we get to see some of the difficulty that Ninja Gaiden has. You have these ninjas coming at you, you have birds that take out 3 hit points, but every time you get hit, you basically fall down the nearest pit. It's like the pits have like a black hole gravity or something. And every time you get hit, you gravitate towards it. And it's like, there are 3 to 4 enemies on the screen at a time. You will get hit, and hit, and hit, and hit, and you will die, and die, and die, and die, even when you're not expecting it. All of a sudden, a bird will just pop out of nowhere, and you will die. You will think you're doing very well. You'll think it's going very well, and then all of a sudden, you're just gonna die. Just right there, you're gonna die. It's always gonna happen, and you will hear that same jingle over and over again. Level 3-2 is one of the harder levels in Ninja Gaiden. This is the level that it took me about a month to get past. And here, they're not screwing around. They're throwing these old hags at you that throw knives. They're making you climb up walls, and you're falling down pits, and it's just crazy. There are guys shooting guns at you. There's birds coming out the hoosgow, and really, you have no time to breathe. You just have to go. You just have to go, go, and go. And eventually, the farther you get into it, you're going to lose some health. And there's actually a health bar. You can die from taking hits. It's not just always hits, but eventually, you'll get to the end of the level. And once again, the boss is really, really simple. He just jumps around in 2 places, and occasionally just shoots things. You would think for a game that's this difficult, that the bosses would at least pose some challenge. Well, they do. Eventually. But these first 3 bosses are just jokes. The second boss, which I didn't show, just walks in one direction and occasionally just holds out a weapon. That's all he does. And this guy just jumps. The other guy just walks. But now the game starts getting difficult. Level 4, 1, when you get from stage 4 onwards, this is where the game starts getting hard. These old hags are going to try to throw stuff at you, and eventually, you're going to get to this guy. You have to make a very... Look where he is! He is posed right on the edge of that ledge. So you have to make a very, very precise jump just to get past him. And just like right there, that guy dies too. But eventually, you'll get past all that. But then you'll get to the top of the cliff, and you're going to be low on health. You're going to die, again. But eventually, you'll learn how to get past the birds after like a month of trying to figure out how to do this level. And then you'll get to the end of the cliff and be treated to one of the most epic cutscenes in history. Just awesome. That music comes on, you're ready to go, you're inside the castle, you're ready to deliver the sword or whatever. But then this bat comes along. And the thing is with the enemies in Ninja Gaiden, if you kill them, they spawn at a designated spawn point. If that spawn point is not in your screen area, they will keep respawning infinitely. You have to jump over them. But again, who would know to do that on their first time? You could get stuck there, wasting all the time on the timer. Yes, you have a timer in this game. Just trying to get over that dang bat. But you know what? You're never going to get past him unless you jump over him, because he will always keep respawning. And right here is where the game just gets crazy. You had 3 birds on the screen at the same time. Birds do 3 damage each, and when you have 3 birds on the screen at the same time, it's just bad. But you'll finally get past it, and you'll get to 4-3. 4-3 is just bad. It's horrible. The level itself is pretty good, but you have some really difficult parts. Like right there, I had to wait on that wall and wait for that guy to fall down. No one is going to know to do that on their first time. And like right here too, this guy is coming towards the ledge, and there's a turret firing. You have to wait to make a very precise jump so that A, the guy doesn't hit you, and B, that the fire doesn't hit you. And no one is going to figure that out on their first time. It takes massive trial and error, more so than should ever be required in a video game. If it takes you a month to figure out how to beat a level, something's wrong. And you will die. You will die. If not from losing health, falling off a pit. But then you get to the 4th boss, and remember how I said the bosses were easy? This is where the difficulty spike just gets massive. See these guys? These are 2 gargoyles. You have to face them both at once. And the thing is, only one of them has the health bar. That's right, you only have to hit one of them. You have to hit the one that's jumping around the farthest for it to get to count towards any hit points. So basically, the one that's doing the small jumps, it's worthless. Don't bother attacking it. But again, who would know to do that their first time? You have to hit the one that's jumping around all really, really fast without getting hit, while these little fireball things are, like, flying around the screen, while dodging these guys. It's ridiculous. For the first 3 bosses to be so easy, and for these guys to be this difficult, it's just ridiculous. The difficulty spike is just way too massive. I won't even get past this. I'm gonna get stuck on a wall, and I'm gonna die. But the 5th boss and the 6th boss, the final boss is just unfair. If you lose on him, you have to face him 3 times in 3 forms. But if you lose on him, you go back to 6-1. You go from 6-4 to 6-1. It is unfair. It's an unfair game, but it's a fun game. Maybe go check it out sometime. It's not bad.